Hi, Todd here, Acme Machining. Today's video, what we're going to do is this customer is having problems and has been having problems with the steering lock on his 2014 Harley Davison Softail. So, says he's had it replaced before and it's given him problems again, and he wants it removed because the weather got nice here and he wanted to go for a ride and he couldn't get the steering unlocked. He hammered away at it with a screwdriver and then called me, and I was able to clean it up enough to get the key back in and wiggle it around enough that I got the steering unlocked, and told him to pick up another lock set, and he says, I don't want another lock set. He says, I want to get rid of that. And I said, okay, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put an aluminum plug in there so it seals the hole. So I got to make the plug, but this is a machining shop and a repair mechanical shop. So just wanted to show you a few things. The way I'm not going to do the video on all of it, I'm just going to hit the key points. So I'm going to go handheld here for a minute. I've got the bike sitting up on 6x6 timbers and a piece of 2x4. Both sides are the same. Keeps it nice and level, keeps front wheel off the ground. And one thing I like to do is, you notice how I put a piece of tape on the handlebar. The other side is exactly the same. And what I do is I take my Sharpie and on the tape I draw the parting line. Okay? We've all driven something. Somebody adjusts the seat in your car and you can never find that perfect spot again. Somebody adjusts your handlebars on your motorcycle, and it doesn't feel like your motorcycle anymore. So that's all got to come off on this. So what I do is I put tape and I keep it in tight here. So that's an index mark, and that line is an index mark. I'm going to mark the other side just in case something happens here. It'll be the same. And then I'm going to remove the handlebars, and I'll bring you back period to period here and show you a few key features about removing the triple trees, and we'll get this done. So stick around, we're going to have a lot of fun today. Most important thing about working on motorcycles is make sure you protect things. I've got a tank pad made by Snap-on. It's got a real nice soft underneath. The underside is clean, and then I cover it over with a packing blanket. Okay. Another thing I do is I take the front fender off. If anything falls and hits that front fender, customer's going to know it. Okay. And put things out of the way where they're safe. Okay. I've got my table organized here. Everything that comes off of the right side of the bike goes the right side of the table. Left side of the bike goes left side of the table. Okay? So, I just figured I'd show this to you. One thing you want to do, this has a hydraulic brake. You make sure that this here is snug up and that it's not leaking. Check it every now and then. Okay? Because it'll make a mess. I'd love to have it sitting upright, but the cables aren't going to allow that, so you got to do what you got to do. So I removed the upper triple clamp after I removed the handlebars and risers and the headlight bucket, and after I removed the triple clamp I was able to lower the wheel. And what I do when I'm working on these is I just use a hammer as a wheel chock. Okay? Because as soon as I lowered this down to here, I'm going to set this up. once I got this down far enough, I do have the set screw out. There is your dreaded steering lock. Okay, so that steering lock is just held in by the set screw. Comes in the bottom here. Okay, so what I'm going to make is I'm going to make an aluminum plug about that long to fit right in there, a little flat for the set screw, and that'll go in there and seal that up as good as that did, and no more steering lock not working. No more steering lock. Okay, so right now I can set this front end back up together. I don't need to leave it hanging precariously like that. I felt the bearings while I was doing it. They feel fine. So I'm just going to slip it back together. And like I said, I just roll it up on the front tire, get it close to where I need, slide my hammer in, and it's back good. Now, what I will do down here is I will take a piece of wood and lift that front end up a little bit, and then I can get the triple tramp back on. But like I said, I'm not filming it all. I just wanted to show you how to get rid of that dreaded steering lock. So we'll be back. So there's my fancy pick the wheel up trick. Like I said, I just use a hammer as a wheel stop, and that way I can roll it frontwards or backwards. And you have to roll it frontwards or backwards to get it centered up here and get the bearing in. And like I said, before I started taking this apart, I felt the steering column because the front wheel was in the air. No excessive slack, bearings felt real nice, no binding, no grinding, no nothing. Nice and smooth, just like it should be. So I'm not worried about the bearing service. It has a grease nipple on it. Looks like the guy's been using it, so he's kept the bearings well. So I don't need to do anything there. I'm just going to get this triple tree back on, get the handlebars back up in place so everything's where it's supposed to be, and then I'm going to move over the lathe and get started on this here steering lock blank. So I'll get back to you when I'm on the lathe. So what I do to adjust the bearings in here, I put the top triple tree on, I put the 3 bolts in snug. The pinch bolt isn't in yet because that there is to hold it locked in place. And what I do is I've got my board, and this is just shoved in underneath the wheel. I'll put a foot against it. The bike's solidly mounted on those timbers so it can't move. And I'll wiggle this, and I'll adjust this center nut until I don't feel any slack, okay? Then I'll kick my board out, and to make sure that I don't have it too tight, well, that steering just falls away. There's no preload on there. See how that steering doesn't fall right now? And I'm not using a big ratchet. Right now, I have to hold everything out of the way feels nice. Now I'm going to put this pinch bolt in and lock that up so it's good, and then I'll tighten up my two upper fork legs so they're tight. But the main bearing adjuster, I don't need to touch that anymore. And as you, excuse my phone, as you've seen that there, I'm just tightening it with a little, like, it's not very tight at all. This here one I will torque to spec. It's probably going to be somewhere around 15 to 18 foot-pounds, and I'll look up the spec for these and get them torqued. And then I'll get the steering handlebars back up on there, and then I'll be over to the lathe. But I just wanted to show you how I adjust that. So right now, if I hold everything up, take the board out, that steering just flops around nice, no binding, and like I said, with the board in there, you can feel when you get to zero movement in here because you don't want those bearings pounding. And then I tighten them up just a little bit, making sure that it's still got freedom in the wheel there. So like you see that, it just falls away by itself. It doesn't fall away that way because the cables are doing it. But yeah, that wheel steering is nice. So okay, I'm going to get this all back together, and I'll be over to the lathe. So what I got here is a simple little, they call it a torpedo level. Okay, I'm not going to turn it, but this end of it can be turned, and what I do is I set this up and then I turn this end until it's level. And then when I want to reset the headlight, again, this isn't my bike, this is the customer's bike. He doesn't want to adjust his headlight, so it's snug. Most of them adjust. If you set them right, they'll stay where they are unless you give them a little bop. But that's tightened up to the specification. And when I put the torpedo level on there that I've set before I took it apart, I set it the same when I put it back together, and that headlight should be right where the customer wanted it before. I showed you the trick with the handlebars. I've set that up, and I've removed the tape on one side. I got to remove the tape on the other, but I just wanted to show you that little trick with the headlight adjustment. Okay, nothing real special here. This is just 3/4 inch. So I took a piece of 3/4 inch bar stock aluminum, cut off a 3/4 inch chunk, and all I've got to do is machine a 5/16 slot. 50 thou from the end is what they've left there as an end. So I'm just going to stick the machining here. Come down a little bit. And this is just for a set screw, so I'm just eyeballing it. So that's it right there. Blair's kind of getting you guys kind of funny, but yeah. So I'm just gonna go over to the bike and we'll put this in. Now try to stay out of you guys' way. Okay. Well, I got some Loctite glue on this. And I'm just gonna, hope you guys can see the little flat spot I put in there. Gonna line that up. So there you go. Steering stop or steering lock, delete it. If anybody wants one of those made up, let me know. Probably a quick $20 item plus whatever it costs to post it to you. So like I said, if you want one, let me know. Please punch the like button. Please subscribe. I'm getting lots more subscribers, but I got to get up over 1,000 to get started on the YouTube, their follower thing, and I'm trying to get there. I put a piece of black tape over the customer serial number because that's his serial number, and I just figured I'd cover it. But y'all have a good day. Thank you for watching, and like I said, if you want, just drop me an email. My email address is qmchtellus@telus.net. So just drop me an email or drop it in the comments, and we'll get in touch. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.